Have you ever stopped to wonder if your brain really shuts down? While many of us believe that moments of rest are synonymous with inactivity, recent studies show that, in fact, our minds are more alive than ever. In this video, we will explore how the brain operates even in the absence of external stimuli, revealing the secrets of how we harness our cognitive potential in moments of calm. Get ready to discover the fascinating brain activity that continues to shape our experiences, emotions, and memories, even when we think we're disconnected. Brain activity is a fascinating concept that involves a series of complex processes and functions. When we talk about brain activity, we refer to the functioning of neurons and the communication between them through synapses. Every thought, every movement, and every emotion is the result of an intense exchange of information between billions of nerve cells. More than a simple organ, the brain is the command center of the human body, coordinating our actions and reactions, in addition to regulating vital functions. Even in states of apparent inactivity, such as during deep sleep, the brain continues to work, processing information, consolidating memories, and even dreaming. Thus, the study of brain activity goes beyond simple measurements of electrical or metabolic activity, involves understanding how different areas of the brain interact and activate in response to internal and external stimuli. As we delve deeper into this area, it becomes apparent that our perception of switching off may actually be a simplification of much more complex and active processes that are constantly happening in our brain. In recent years, interest in neuroscience has been growing exponentially, both in academia and among the general public. Advances in imaging technology such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, have made it possible for scientists to visualize brain activity in real time, revealing a new dimension to how we think, feel, and act. This growing interest is also fueled by the understanding that many challenges of modern life, such as stress and psychological disorders, are closely linked to the functioning of the brain. These factors have encouraged a significant increase in research focused on mental health, education, and even productivity in the workplace. Furthermore, the popularization of books and documentaries about the mysteries of the brain has brought to light questions that previously seemed like academic theories. This not only aroused public curiosity, but also led to a true revolution in the day-to-day understanding of our behaviors and social interactions. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the mind, it becomes essential that everyone, regardless of their level of knowledge, understands the importance of taking care of brain health for lasting well-being. One of the most intriguing questions raised by neuroscience studies is whether our brains actually shut down. The answer is not as simple as it seems. For a long time, it was believed that moments of absolute rest or deep sleep were synonymous with zero brain activity, but recent research indicates otherwise. During sleep, for example, different regions of the brain remain active, performing essential functions such as memory and learning. Even in states of rest or meditation, the brain can show patterns of activity that not only indicate that it is on, but also that it is heavily involved in processing experiences and emotions. These findings have led to a reassessment of our own perceptions of what it means to be switched off or focused. The idea that we can achieve a state of productive relaxation, where the brain continues working in the background, opens up a range of possibilities for optimizing not only productivity, but also mental health in general. This mystery about the brain's active state invites us to reimagine our routines and self-care practices, exploring ways to effectively balance activity and rest. The goal of this video is to demystify the idea that the brain switches off and explore the rich tapestry of brain activity that continues even in the absence of external stimuli. Let's take a journey through the fascinating world of neuroscience, where we will discuss the different states of brain activity and what they mean for us in everyday life. Throughout the video, we will present research that shows how the brain adapts and reacts to a range of circumstances, even when it appears to be at rest. Additionally, we will cover the practical implications of these findings for our everyday lives, including healthy habits that can stimulate brain activity and improve our emotional well-being. We hope that after viewing you will have a deeper understanding of the human brain and its incredible capabilities. Let's together uncover the secrets of the mind and understand the importance of keeping our brain active, even in moments of stillness. The history of neuroscience research dates back centuries, when early philosophers questioned the nature of the mind and how the brain works. At the beginning of the 19th century, French scientist Pierre Flourens was one of the pioneers to carry out experiments with the removal of parts of the brain of animals, discovering that each region was associated with specific functions. From the end of the 19th century, with the advent of microscopy, researchers began to analyze the structure of the brain at a cellular level, which led to the discovery of neurons, the cells responsible for electrical communication in the brain. In the 20th century, neuroscience established itself as an interdisciplinary field, covering areas such as psychology, biology, medicine, and philosophy. Since then, brain research has evolved rapidly, culminating in modern technologies such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, which allows visualization of brain activity in real time. This revolutionizes our understanding of how we interact with the world and ushers us into a new era of discoveries that shape contemporary neuroscience. Major discoveries about the brain in recent years have radically changed the way we understand the human mind. One of the most impactful discoveries is the capacity for neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to adapt and create new connections in response to experiences and learning. This discovery led to a new perspective on rehabilitation after brain injuries, showing that the brain can reorganize itself and recover lost functions. Furthermore, research into brain waves and their different activity patterns has revealed that emotional and cognitive states have direct correlations with electrical activity in the brain. Understanding how the brain processes emotions is also an area of increasing attention, especially in the context of mental health. Recent studies have shown, for example, that the practice of meditation not only calms the mind, but also effectively transforms brain structure, proving that emotional experiences are deeply linked to our brain health and, therefore, our quality of life. When we talk about brain rest, many people still have the idea that this phenomenon is equivalent to a total shutdown of the mind. However, scientific research has shown that the brain remains active, even when we are not performing demanding activities. During sleep, for example, the brain processes information collected throughout the day and works to consolidate memories. Studies have shown that lack of sleep can seriously compromise cognitive functions, and this highlights the importance of adequate rest for our daily performance. Furthermore, activities such as meditation or simply active idleness, such as walking in a park, offer the brain precious moments to reorganize thoughts and emotions. These periods of downtime are crucial for creativity and problem-solving, indicating that the idea of switching off is actually providing special care to the brain so that it can function at maximum capacity in times of greatest demand. In recent years, many changes in neuroscientific theories have challenged the conventional notion that the brain stops when not in use. Research shows that, even in moments of relaxation, the brain is constantly active, engaging in processes that strengthen neural connections. The so-called default mode network, identified by neuroscientists, is an example of this, revealing that parts of the brain are active during rest and dreams, demonstrating that autonomous thinking is vital for our mental health. Furthermore, neuroscience is currently seeking to better understand the relationship between emotional well-being and brain health and how the constant stress of modern life challenges this relationship. If before the priority was understanding the physical basis of the mind, today the focus is on how to keep this fascinating machine operating in a healthy way. With these new perspectives, neuroscience research continues to expand our minds and shape our understanding of who we are. The methodology adopted in the recent study was fundamental to guarantee the validity of the results obtained. The researchers used functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to monitor participants' brain activity while they remained in a resting state, without performing any specific task. This type of analysis is crucial, as it allows us to visualize in real time which regions of the brain are active, even when they are not under external stimuli. Participants were selected rigorously, taking into account factors such as age, mental health, and history of brain activity. During data collection, they were instructed to keep their eyes closed and not to think about anything specific, just relax. This approach reduced interference from stray thoughts and ensured that the brain activity recorded was primarily the result of internal brain processes. At the end of the experiment, the data was statistically analyzed to identify patterns of activity that could indicate what the brain was doing during moments of inactivity. The study also considered factors such as the participants' level of stress and previous meditation experience, variables that could influence the brain activity observed. The findings of this study represent a significant advance in neuroscience and provide new insight into what happens in our minds when we think we are just resting. Compared to previous studies, the findings of this new study revealed novel aspects about resting state brain activity. Until then, many researchers believed that, during the absence of stimuli, the brain entered a state of almost hibernation without active involvement. However, studies carried out years ago have already begun to deconstruct this idea by observing that the brain, even at rest, has an active ecosystem where different areas exchange information. However, the recent study went further, using cutting-edge technology to more accurately map what was happening at the synapses. For example, previous research has focused on specific cognitive tasks to measure activity, but has not sufficiently addressed what happens in our moments of relaxation. The data suggests that, even in moments of calm, the brain is busy processing emotions, memories, and thoughts that are latent. This new approach therefore sheds light on what holiday breaks look like, which, rather than being a waste of time, can be critical to our mental health and well-being. With this, new questions arise about how we can use these moments of rest to enhance our learning and our emotional state. It is important to highlight that the comparison of the study with previous ones is not limited only to the results, but also to the mission of expanding our understanding of what we mean by brain activity. Many previous studies have focused on tasks that demand attention, cognition, and execution, but have failed to capture the true essence of brain activity that occurs in moments of inactivity. For example, research from past decades has suggested that the default mode network, a brain network that activates when we are unaware of the external world, could be uniquely related to functions such as memory recall or imagination. However, the current study has brought to light that this network is also activated when we are processing feelings, reflections on our lives, and our past experiences. With these new data, the view that the brain is capable of creating and interacting internally, even without external stimuli, presents itself as a central point in the debate about the use of the brain in different scenarios. This growing understanding highlights how multifaceted our brain is and invites a new look at what we should consider activity in our daily lives. The debate over the interpretation of the results of the recent study is rich and complex, generating diverse interpretations and possible implications. Initially, it is necessary to consider what this continuous brain activity means in practice during periods of rest. For many researchers, this could open doors to a new approach in mental health and neurology, leading to the inclusion of techniques such as meditation and mindfulness as effective methods for stimulating brain activity and emotional health. The idea that the brain remains active and engaged in quiet moments suggests that we need to review our self-care and leisure routines. Many women, especially those over 50, can directly benefit from this understanding, as they often deal with stereotypes that calmer or relaxing activities are not productive enough. This erroneous view can lead to feelings of guilt for not being constantly active. Therefore, it is vital to not only demystify the idea that inactivity is a waste of time, but also encourage the pursuit of activities that nourish the mind through introspection, art, or simply appreciating nature. Thus, interpreting the study results not only enriches the field of neuroscience, but also offers a positive path for women to adopt a new perspective on what it means to be productive in their lives. Theories about the function of the switched-off brain are intriguing and reveal stunning truths about how our most complex organ operates even when we are not consciously thinking about something. One of the most widely discussed views is that the brain is not, in fact, off, but rather in a state of internal processing. During moments of disconnection, such as when we are meditating or simply relaxing, parts of the brain responsible for memories and emotions can become more active. For example, research has shown that during rest, the brain's default mode network system is activated, which is associated with self-reflection and future planning. This suggests that our brains may be constantly working through and organizing past experiences, even when we don't realize it. Thus, the idea that we need a break from external stimulus is not only valid, but essential for mental health, as it provides the opportunity for internal thought processes to deepen and evolve. This continuous reflection can result in valuable insights that would otherwise be lost in a sea of everyday distractions. Within the scientific community, opinions about brain activity in states of apparent inactivity are not unanimous. While some neuroscientists argue that the brain remains active in ways we do not yet fully understand, Others take a more cautious view, arguing that the lack of external stimuli may lead to a decrease in cognitive activity rather than an intensification of it. This divergence of perspectives is natural in a field as complex as neuroscience. Researchers who endorse the idea of an always-on brain present evidence that the human brain is highly adaptable and that its plasticity allows it to continue reconfiguring itself in response to new experiences and learning. In turn, critics take into account that, although certain areas may activate, this does not mean that complex cognition and logical reasoning are occurring. The different views reflect how little we still know about the many mysteries of the human brain and highlight the importance of continuing to investigate so that we can better understand not only brain function, but also its implications for our mental health and well-being. Case studies and practical examples demonstrate more about the complexities of brain activity in inactive states. A classic study led patients into a relaxed state, where significant variations in brain waves were observed, especially in alpha waves, which are associated with relaxation and creativity. These studies revealed that during times of calm, so-called eureka ideas often emerge, where solutions to unplanned problems emerge. A practical example can be seen in artists and writers who often use disconnection or meditation practices to unleash creativity. Many report feeling more inspired after periods of inactivity. Another study focused on elderly people and yoga practitioners, showing that mindfulness practices not only improve mental health, but also promote greater connectivity between brain regions, suggesting that positive brain activity can occur even without direct stimuli. These findings reinforce the idea that rest and relaxation are fundamental to mental health and productivity, proposing that inactivity may not be a state of absence, but one of great creative and restorative potential. Reflecting on the relevance of the subject of brain activity in states of apparent inactivity is essential, especially in a world where stress and anxiety are prevalent. With the rush of everyday life, we often forget the importance of slowing down and allowing our minds to wander. Studies show that deliberately taking breaks can not only improve our creativity, but also our long-term focus and productivity. It is essential to promote them in our lives in a way that makes them part of the routine, rather than an exception. Furthermore, by discussing brain activity and its nuances, a necessary space is opened for people to understand that taking care of mental health is a necessity and not a luxury. Treating the brain with attention, providing moments of rest and reflection, can result in a better understanding of ourselves and the interactions we have with the world around us. Therefore, what appears to be inactivity may actually be one of the most profound elements in building a meaningful and healthy life, especially for women over 50, who often face unique transitions and challenges in their lives. By encouraging practices that honor both brain activity and rest, we cultivate a fertile space for personal growth and happiness. In this video, we explore the complexity of brain activity and how, even in moments when we believe we are off, our brain remains active in various functions. Key findings include the observation that, during sleep, several regions of the brain are not inactive but are processing important information, supporting the understanding that rest and brain activity can coexist. Furthermore, research has shown that states of meditation and relaxation do not mean an absence of activity, but rather a different form of mental engagement. We also discuss how modern technology like functional MRI has allowed scientists to observe these complex dynamics in real time, substantiating the idea that brain activity is a continuous phenomenon. Understanding these nuances is crucial, as it helps us appreciate the importance of self-care and taking a break from our daily lives. These findings challenge our views on productivity and encourage us to consider the critical role rest plays in mental and physical health. Therefore, instead of seeing rest as an interruption, we should see it as an integral part of a cycle of efficiency in our routine. The potential for psychic treatments is one of the most promising areas emerging from discoveries made in the field of neuroscience. With growing awareness that the brain remains active even in states of apparent inactivity, researchers are exploring ways to use this information to develop new therapeutic approaches. For example, mindfulness-based therapy, which emphasizes awareness of the present moment, is increasingly being recognized as an effective way to help people deal with anxiety and depression. Studies have shown that regular meditation practices can, in fact, stimulate the activity of specific areas in the brain related to emotional regulation. Additionally, the field of psychopharmacology is benefiting from the understanding that the brain cell is not inactive, even when we are not directly stimulating it. There is evidence to suggest that medications used to treat mental disorders could be improved through a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy and interventions that stimulate this brain activity. With the goal of promoting better psychological well-being, research is also focused on the possibility of using non-invasive techniques, such as transcranial magnetic stimulation, to enhance activities in specific areas of the brain. Thus, the future of psychic treatments appears promising and inspired by the complexities of our brain functioning. This not only opens new paths for mental recovery, but also makes us reflect on the importance of contexts that promote emotional and mental health based on scientific understanding. The impacts of brain research also extend to the field of education and productivity, revolutionizing the way we approach learning at different stages of life. As we understand brain activity in moments of inactivity, education is being reevaluated in light of new evidence. The idea that we always need to be in constant activity and engagement can be replaced by practices that respect the natural rhythm of each individual. An example of this are teaching techniques that incorporate periods of active rest, in which students are encouraged to reflect on what they have learned before moving on to new information. These approaches have been shown to increase knowledge retention, promoting more meaningful and lasting learning. Furthermore, in work environments, research has revealed that allowing regular breaks during the day can actually increase productivity and creativity. By giving employees the opportunity to disconnect for brief moments, companies have seen an improvement not only in morale, but also in results. Creating an environment that values and integrates breaks and time for reflection is, therefore, one of the most positive legacies that discoveries about brain activity bring to us. When we recognize that the brain is an active machine, ready to be stimulated in moments of stillness, we can transform our educational and work practices, thus promoting a future where learning and production are highly aligned with the nature of brain functioning. Growing research into brain activity challenges our reflections on what it means to be human in the future. In an era where technology and artificial intelligence are pushing us to new frontiers, it is essential that we question the essence of the human experience. Neural activity, even when we are in resting states, reveals to us that there is a depth to our cognition that goes beyond the superficial interactions that often dominate our lives. This new understanding of the brain invites us to seek more meaningful connections with ourselves and others. With artificial intelligence taking on functions that were previously exclusive to humans, the uniqueness of emotional experience, creativity, and reflection becomes increasingly valuable. What makes us human is the ability to feel, to dream, and to connect with our stories and the world around us. Thus, the incessant activity of our brain, independent of external stimuli, forces us to value these experiences and the interactions that we cultivate throughout our lives. The future invites us to delve deeper into the exploration of the essence of human consciousness, reflecting on how these discoveries can help us find deeper purpose and meaning in an ever-changing world. Ultimately, science not only demystifies brain functions, but also reinforces the urgency of an introspective and collective look at what it really means to live fully in this new era. The truth about brain activity invites us to reevaluate our understanding of rest and productivity. In moments of apparent inactivity, our brains are deeply engaged in essential processes, challenging the notion that we need to be constantly active to be productive or creative. Taking care of our mental health is as important as stimulating our mind, and understanding that these moments of pause are crucial can lead us to a more balanced and meaningful life. We're curious to know, what story or theme would you like to hear in our next videos? Your opinion is very important to us. Have you ever stopped to think about how you use your downtime? Do you feel guilty for not always being active, or are you able to enjoy these moments? Share your experiences and reflections with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos, and continue your journey of discovery about the fascinating world of neuroscience.